So try nuts, I've even managed to get glue in my hair. So try nuts, let's talk about tubular tyres. Now they can be a giant pain in the backside. But there's lots of different schools of thought, but I'll show you in this video, I've dropped the tyre leaf. I'll show you in this video how to easily put on a new tubular tyre. Okay, so first thing first, you'll need to get your old tyre off your wheel. Now, the easiest thing to do is to use your hands. I've already done it here, but just use your hands and gently lever back and forth on the tyre and just release the glue. And it takes a bit of patience, it takes a bit of time. Don't, whatever you do, use any sharp objects. Just ease it off and work your way around the tyre. The glue will come free. Okay, so once you've taken off your tyre, the next thing to do is to go and check and get the large bits of glue and take them off. Now again, there's lots of schools of thought on this. Some people use acetone. I even know some people that use blow torches and even sharp knives to do it. Look, I think the best way of doing it is basically just identifying any big globs of glue and then just using a blunt instrument and just taking them off. And then just doing a light sand with a very, very fine sandpaper. Be careful of the rims here and just lightly sand it all the way around. Okay, so once you've removed the big bits of glue and you've just lightly sanded it down, the next thing you need to do is to get your tyre and put it through and start working it around the wheel. So just start at the top, work it around, keep working it around, keep working it around, and look, it will get quite tight towards the end. Again, don't use anything other. You can use some tyre levers, but once you've got that on, and it is a bit of effort because they are quite tight, you can just use some tyre levers to put on the top there. Then once you've done that, pump up the tyre and leave it for at least 24 hours, because what that will do is stretch the tyre and make it a lot easier when you come to putting it on with the glue itself. Okay, so once you've left your tyre on for 24 hours, the next thing to do is to do your first layer of glue. So I'm using some Victoria mastic here, and just use a brush. It's easy just to use a brush and then to push on the glue and then gently put it around. Be careful to not get any of the spoke holes, and just gently put it all the way around. Once you've done one coat and keep it nice and thin, then you need to leave it for 12 hours at least, I would say. Then you put on your second coat and again leave that for 12 hours, and then you're on to the next step. Okay, so the next thing is to get your tyre, just release the valve, get your pump, and what you should do is just blow it up a little bit, because what will happen is one of the sides will start to rise to the surface, as you can see that here, and then you can start gluing around the side. So I'll just take the pump off, just do the valve up, and then this raised side here, I'll start to be able to glue. So this is one coat of glue on this side here. Okay, so the last thing to do is, once you've glued your tyre, is obviously to put it onto your wheel. And once you've done that, and as I said, if it gets a little bit sticky towards the end, use some tyre levers. Just check that the wheel runs true. That looks pretty good. Just to make sure it's on correctly. Just a couple of final tips. When you're gluing, just make sure you do little pieces at a time. So a little bit of glue and then use your paintbrush to do it. And then have a cloth with just to wipe any of the excess glue as you go around it, just to get that off. And the other important thing is, really, I'll do this outside as well. Can get a little bit messy. If you get anything on your clothes, easiest thing to do is just get the end of a blunt knife and just to scrape it off, and that should get rid of the glue. So there you go. That is how to put on a tubular tyre and leave it for at least 24 hours before you ride on it.